All right, so the next question is call up your friend. All right, so we'll make the order imperative sentence for call up your friend. We'll begin with the structure. That is, first we'll get the verb. The verb is anrufen. Please remember it's a separable verb. It has two parts, the prefix and the main verb, which is rufen. We'll conjugate the main verb rufen for du. That means ich rufe du rufst. So we'll write rufst. Very good. And as per the rule for du, we see it's written clearly that we need to conjugate and then remove the ending. So let's remove the ending. It'll become roof. And then comes the subject. As per the rule, we do not address the person. We'll not write the subject. Then we come to the rest of the sentence, which is your friend, which is whom. Whom do we call, or whom do you call? So it's accusative, and friend, as we know, it's masculine, like it's written here. So we'll go to accusative masculine. It's den, die, das, die. So we'll take up den. So we'll write here den Freund, but we do not need to say den. We need to say your. We don't need to say the friend. We need to say your friend. How can we say your friend? Okay, what is your in German? Let's find out. My is mine. Your is dein. Perfect. So let's write here dein. Now we know that the possessive pronouns replace the articles. Yes. Instead of saying call up the friend, you're saying call up your friend. So we'll basically borrow the ending of the article en and put it with dein. It'll become ruf deinen Freund, and we'll finish the verb with its prefix an. Super duper. So that is please, that's call up your friend. Now we'll say it politely to someone maybe who's like a boss or whom you want to be respectful with. Yes. So let's write here. We'll begin with the verb. The verb is anrufen. We'll just take the stem of the verb, that is rufen, conjugate it for sie. Let's do it. Ich rufe, du rufst, sie es ruft. Wir rufen, ihr ruft, sie, sie. Rufen. Fantastic. So we'll write here rufen, second person formal, and then we'll put the subject. That's sie. So we get the subject here. You call. Then we'll say the rest of the sentence. Whom? It's the friend, like we mentioned earlier. Accusative masculine, den Freund. But we don't need to say the. We need to say your. How will I say your? Can I say dein again? No. Dein is for du. We'll need to find what do we say it for capital Z. If you remember, all the Z's become ihr. So we'll write here ihr, and it'll borrow the ending of the article. Instead of saying call up the friend, you're saying call up your friend. So ihren Freund. Complete the sentence with the prefix. Rufen Sie Ihren Freund an. Fantastic. Okay, moving on. Let's say you're saying it to more than one person. Call up your friends. That means we'll be saying it to ihr. Let's see what it is for ihr. As per the structure, we begin with the verb. Yes, anrufen. Take up the main stem. Rufen. Conjugate it for ihr. Ich rufe, du rufst, sie es ruft. Wir rufen, ihr ruft. Perfect. And then, as per the rule here, we will not address the second person plural. We won't address the people. We'll simply go ahead to the rest of the sentence. So whom are we calling? We're calling, you call up your friends. That's plural. So whom are we calling? Friends, plural. So go to accusative, find out plural, den, die, das, die. So we'll write here die Freunde. But again, we don't want to say die. We want to replace it with your friends. So we'll find out what is your for ihr, and for ihr, your is euer. Let's write here euer, and we'll borrow the ending of die. We'll write eure. Very good. We'll remove the. Perfect. And in this, there is a little spelling update. Whenever you add something to euer, you remove the e from between, and it becomes eure, not euer. Okay. Ruft eure Freunde an. Close the verb with the prefix. Fantastic. Yes. So this is your second person informal, formal, and plural. Now we are talking about first person plural. Yes. As a leader of the group, we call up our friends. We'll begin with the verb anrufen, conjugate the stem for wir. Ich rufe, du rufst, sie es ruft, wir rufen. Very good. Introduce the subject. Rufen wir. Then we'll say the rest of the sentence. Our friends. Yes, our. Let's find out what is our. It's like for wir, we have unser, our. So, but before we write unser, let's also find out whom are we calling. We're calling friends. Let's call up our friends. Friends is plural and it's accusative. So we'll write die Freunde. But again, we don't want to say the, we want to say our. So we'll switch it with unser, just like I said, and borrow the ending of die, unsere Freunde an. Perfect. So this was the other sentence for call up your friend. Let's move forward, keep it going. Now the next sentence, here we have clean up your room. Now the verb is putzen, and we'll begin for the second person informal. We'll first conjugate the verb putzen, and it'll become ich putze, du putzt. Yes, putzt, and we'll remove the conjugation st as per the rule, and then we'll bring the subject. As per the rule, we don't address the person, so we'll let it be putz. We'll come to the rest of the sentence. Your room. What should I clean? It's what should you clean? It's your room. So what is accusative, and room is das Zimmer. So we could write das Zimmer, but we don't want to say the, we need to say your. Your is dein, so we'll write here dein. And as you all know, das has no ending, so we basically have no ending to add to dein. It'll remain dein. Putz dein Zimmer. Fantastic. Similarly, we could write for formal approach. Yes, you could say with a please, bitte, and then conjugate the verb putzen for the capital Z. Ich putze, du putzt, sie es putzt, wir putzen, ihr putzt, sie, sie putzen. Fantastic. Bitte putzen, then we'll address the person. Bitte putzen Sie. What? Again, we need to say room, the room. So it's das Zimmer, accusative, then the das. But we don't say actually the Zimmer, we need to say your. What is your? All the Z's become ihr. This one becomes capital. We write ihr. Yes, there is no ending to give. Let it be ihr Zimmer. Perfect. Similarly, we do it for ihr. Let's have a look. We'll say basically the verb putzen conjugated for ihr. Ich putze, du putzt, sie es putzt. Wir putzen, ihr putzt. Fantastic. Putzt, we'll introduce the subject as per the rule. If you remember, there's no subject. We don't address the people, second person, directly give the order. So we'll go to the rest of the sentence. Now what? Again, it's accusative, den, die, das Zimmer. But we don't want to say the room, we need to say your room. What is your in German? For ihr, it becomes euer. So we'll write here, euer. Let's do it. And is there any ending that das can give? No. So we'll remove das and simply let it be euer. Putzt euer Zimmer. Clean up your room. Perfect. Yeah, moving forward, let's do it for wir. We clean up our rooms, or we clean up our room. Why not? People having the same room, children having the same room. Yes, we clean up our room. So it's like we begin with the verb putzen conjugated for wir. Ich putze, du putzt, sie es putzt, wir putzen. Very good. Get it here. Putzen. We'll introduce the subject. Wir. What? Our Zimmer. First we'll write what. Zimmer is Neutrum. It'll be accusative. Who cleans what? Das Zimmer, den, die, das. But we need to say our. Our is unser. So we'll write unser. Yes. And there is no ending of das. So unser will remain unser. Putzen wir unser Zimmer. Fantastic. Okay, now let's come and do the fifth one. I'll do two more with you. Yes. So here we have do not talk. The verb is sprechen. Now let's conjugate the verb for do. Let's find out. There is the E will change to I. Remember the rules of conjugation, and it'll be stem will only change for the second, third person. This is second person. So we'll say ich spreche, du sprichst. Yeah, so we'll write sprichst. Let's write here sprichst. Fantastic. And then as per the rule, remove the ending. And then the subject we do not address, so we leave it. We go directly to the rest of the sentence, which is not. So we'll simply write what is not. We learned how to negate a sentence. We're negating the verb with the adverb nicht. Sprich nicht. Fantastic. Saying it to someone, our senior, we could say, please do not talk. Bitte. Yes, we'll conjugate the verb sprechen. For Sie, it'll be the same. Yes. Bitte sprechen. We'll address the person. Sie, negate the sentence. Nicht, negated the verb. Perfect. Then we could say to our friends, you all do not talk. Yes, we'll begin with the verb conjugated for ihr, ich spreche, du sprichst, sie spricht, wir sprechen, ihr sprecht. Perfect. So sprecht, we'll not address them, so there's no subject. Simply negate the sentence with nicht. Sprecht nicht. Simply, we can do the last one as well. We do not speak. Leader of the group, ordering the group. So let's say it. Begin with the verb sprechen. Yeah, conjugated it for wir. Sprechen, we'll introduce the subject wir, negate the sentence nicht. Perfect. Sprechen wir nicht. Okay, so that was it. How to give order, do not talk. Now let me see if I can do some irregular verbs with you. One verb is in front of us. Let me try and do it with you so that you understand it even better. Okay, so let's remove this and we write our own answers. So the first question, so the sentence is be quiet. The verb to be is sein. Ich bin, du bist, sie, es ist, wir sind, ihr seid, sie, sie sind. And how to say quiet? It's an adjective, leise. So be quiet, let's find out. We'll conjugate the verb for do, that is ich bin, du bist. We'll remove the ending, which is be, by, doesn't really make sense. So in certain cases, like irregular verbs, we need to follow a different rule. We will not conjugate the verb sein. We'll pick up the verb as it is. We'll pick up the whole verb sein and we'll simply remove the ending sei. Yes, sei, and it's second person informal. We don't address the person. We'll go to the rest of the sentence, which is be what? Leise, simply an adjective. Sei leise. Fantastic. Similarly, saying it to the boss, we could say it, please be quiet, begin with bitte. And yes, moment. Please, and then we could say the verb is again ich bin, du bist, sie, es ist, wir sind, ihr seid, sie, sie sind. But sind is not going to be used here. We'll be using the verb again sein and right here sein. But just to make it a little different, we add an extra e. It becomes seien. So it sounds like an order. Seien. And we'll address the person. Sie. Rest of the sentence. Leise. Bitte seien Sie leise. This you need to memorize. That in the irregular verb sein, we do not use the conjugation. We use the main verb. And we say sei. Seien. Yes. Let's see how it is with ihr. You all be quiet. Now we'll conjugate the verb sein. For ihr, ich bin, du bist, sie, es ist, wir sind, ihr seid. So here we will use the conjugation. We'll say seid. We'll not address the people. Yes, it's second person plural. So we'll not be addressing. And we'll simply say seid. Go to the rest of the sentence. Leise. Perfect. Moving on to wir. It'll be we be quiet, saying it to the group. So you begin with a verb that is sein, conjugated, but then it's wir sind. We won't use sind. We'll pick up the main verb, which is sein, and just like we did here, we'll add an extra e. We'll say seien, introduce the subject wir, rest of the sentence leise. Seien wir leise, we be quiet. Yes, fantastic. So we be careful with this irregular verb. There are just a few. All right, then the rest of the sentences I would recommend you try by yourself. I'm pretty sure you will be able to get the answers. Follow the structure, follow the rules, and cross-check with the answer book. Perfect. So enjoy these questions in German, giving orders. This is John Berlin signing off. Till the next lesson. Take care.